Well, g'day everybody. We're in China at the moment, and if we're lucky, this phone is about to ring, and it'll be Jacob. But we've got to wait and see. A little bit of a quick jump in there until a few people turn up. But just as I was about to go a few minutes ago, we're now 6 minutes past 8. Oh no, that's Fiji time. Hang on, we're 7 minutes past 4 here in the afternoon in China, and that should be about 10 o'clock in France and 9 o'clock in England and so on. So looks like that's going to be the new time. Anyway, just as I was setting up, and we're not sure if this is a strong internet connection yet. We're on a VPN. That's the only way we can do it out of China. So there's a few little challenges. And just as I was setting up and realised there was a problem and we had to reconnect to YouTube, blah, 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 Jacob called me because he sent me a message about sighting some dolphins and stuff. We have a requirement now that all the entrants, if they see any citations, dolphins, whales, whatever, they've got to record certain things: the position, how many in the pod, what direction they were going, what they were doing, whether they were just playing or feeding or whatever, approximately how many, what size, what type, all this sort of stuff, and log it all in. And then the entrants are taking it to send me a message every time that happens as well. And so I just said, hey, you've got a track coming up in about 15 minutes. Give me a call. And he called just as I was in the middle of the problems. So hopefully he's going to call back. We'll carry on with the because I sent him a message. Hey, not now. Wait a bit. And I just sent him a call me now situation so we can talk about it. And I was only off for 2 days. We left it very late on Sunday. So we did Sunday. We didn't do Monday because we were travelling. We got into China late last night or late yesterday. And I saw the track and fell off my chair. I thought, gee, it was interesting up the front and, all the other bits going on. Everyone's catching fish and so on, which is fantastic. And then this morning it got even more interesting. And then I was awake at 4 o'clock, of course. But I didn't want to do the tracker then, so we had to settle in a time. And this will be it. So for now, the time that you're seeing, which will be 4 o'clock in China in the afternoon, and that'll be about it'll be the same UTC time when I'm back in France, and also when we're across in the UK, because I'll go across to our boat after we launch the GGR again. So this is it. This is the new time, and get used to that. And then those that want to watch it live rather than replay, you're all fine. Yes, I did bring this shirt home with me, and yes, I've still got my yellow glasses, but I was too busy to grab them. So there you go. Okay, and got some interesting messages from people and so on. So I think we'll just get straight into the tracker, and hopefully Jacob will turn up. If he doesn't, that's fine. And in fact, I'm going to ask a few more entrants as well every now and then going forward. They've been at sea for a long time. We haven't had a chat with... Oh, here we go. Jacob coming in live. Oh, slide to answer. That's a new one. FaceTime. Oh, Jacob, now we've got to get you out of the face. How are you? Hang on. Let me. Trying to look good. Okay, here's Jacob. Hang on, where are we going to put him? Oh, I got to get this comfortable. Can I? Hang on. Hang on. I want to go this way. I can't. I'll have to change hands. Okay, good to see you. What's happening?
All good. So 1 second.
Hang on. I got to get the volume up. Make sure the volume's up full. Yeah. So what's happening?
Actually, not good. Not good because I lost too much ground to Adam. But on the beginning I decided not to take the risk, and I was considering this quite carefully. And rough sea over there, plus busy with the ships and the fishing gear.
Yeah.
So I rather took the easy part, and all was perfectly, because once I get close to the Melville Island, the sea become much nicer. And last 3 or 4 days, I'm just sailing like on a holiday.
Yeah.
Catching the fish, cleaning the boat, charging batteries, sharpening my machetes.
Is the machetes for the pirates or for when you get ashore?
I hope so. So I finished my book.
Oh yeah. That's a very good book.
It is, and I love this guy, and I feel so close to what he was thinking about the sailing. And as him as I, we are a little bit in collision with the racing mode, because for us sailing would be rather like a harmony with the with the Moana, with the ocean, and listening to this. I don't have any music on board. I don't have any Netflix. I have nothing. All I listen all day is just the wind and the waves and my boat talking to me. Sometimes I listen myself talking about the different things, but that's what I like. This is the mood that I really love most.
Yeah, he was certainly an anomaly. Bernard Matessier, there's a trilogy of books. There's the other one when he left from Tahiti after he built the boat and just went around Cape Horn for the first time. But then there's an even more interesting one, which is about his life ever since he was born and in Vietnam and so on with his parents, and then sinking all his boats and building the paper mache boat and all that sort of stuff, which is really, they're fantastic. I've got both of them here in China still. Yeah. So I know where you're coming from.
I'm gonna read them all because it's such a character, and especially on the end when he end up in the Tahiti and all his consideration about civilization consuming our beautiful planet. And this is, every man has to do a few things in the life. It's like build a house, make the sun, plant the tree, and run marathon, right?
Yeah.
So I get the son, very good, nice fella. I had a beautiful daughter, and I built a house, even few, and now I'm running my marathon because I think this is my life marathon that I always wanted to do. And when I come back, I'm gonna plant the tree. And my planting tree, it would be like doing something to for the planet.
Yeah.
Like sacrifice the rest of my to do something, the positive impact, or even maybe different way, maybe erase the traces of my being.
Yeah.
Regards the devastation that we all cause to the planet.
Yeah.
So, but a very interesting thing when he was sailing his Marie Therese, and after 600 miles he started taking lots of water. So he had to go on shore and do some repairs, but he had no money at all. And then there was the guy came to him and did all the work for him.
Yeah.
And he said, I don't want any money from you. I just want to, you need this and I can provide this to you. And you don't owe me nothing. Just bear in mind if maybe in the future you can help this way to someone else. And Don, I had exactly the same thing happen to my life when I was building the boat, and the boat is like framed. I was planking this with the plywood, and the guy came to me and we started chatting about the boats and stuff, and I offered him some coffee and this was my biggest ever supported. Next day I ended up with having like cash to finish my boat. Believe it or not, it was just one of the miracles, and
yeah. Well, that's all pretty interesting. The funny part here, listening to you talk about this, totally unexpected, is that part of the reason that Jane and I are doing what we do is because that's our give back to the planet. When I got to 50, 20 years ago, it was all about I was just going to put everything back into supporting adventure, because adventure makes good people. Right, because it changes the people, turns them into communicators, gives them risk assessment, value judgment, a confidence to go and do things. And here's the cut: you're usually in the natural world, either in the ocean or on a lake or on a river, in a mountain or out in a park, and there you go. It's exactly what's happening to you. It just shows how it all works, and that makes better people. And if there's one thing the world needs right now is better people, and Bernard Matessier was so far in front of everyone. It was just crazy when you read what he was saying all that long ago and how relevant it is today. It's crazy. Anyway, yeah. All good stuff.
Exactly. 100% with you now.
Yeah. So how's the boat?
The boat is good. So I have a nice setup of cutter rig. So I came up with the idea this morning that I can bring my A7 right to the end of the bow, and put this on so it's quite far apart from the jib, and they work beautifully. I am making very good speed. Finally.
Yeah.
I'm trying to catch the current, so I'm getting close to Timor, which I never wanted. But this is the only way to get out of here, because next 3 days we have wind on nose, not very strong, and without the current, I won't be able to get out of the Timor Sea.
Yeah, you're not close to Timor. The others are, though. I thought they'd already been taken into command. They're on the doorstep. Yeah. Anyway, that place is not so bad. But anyway.
But you see, there's another thing, because the delaying in a tracker might cause, if I'm behind someone and someone becomes the target, I'm gonna end up as a prayer.
No, it's okay. Well, there's an error in there as well. It's not just a delay, but it's a relevant error. So, anyway, we don't talk about that. So, okay. So that's cool. Yeah, and so how? Sorry, carry on.
For the last few days, I had no ships and nothing. Only the ABF plane went over me twice, once asking the questions. But last night, I went into the joint petroleum zone, and the thing starts showing up on the AIS, and there was I don't know how to say, it's like maybe 20, maybe 30 different objects.
Yeah.
And I will show you the picture of my chart plotter, because they just open up for people to pass through.
Oh, far out. That's good.
But other than that, I had nothing around me except the dolphins today.
Yeah. Okay, that's pretty cool. Hey, how's your sails holding up from the sun? Have you seen much degradation from the sun effect on the sails?
Well, other than the color, there is no degradation at all, because I always, if I don't use the sail, I put this up inside the locker, so off the sun. There was the times when I knew I'm not going to use my main. My main got covered with the cover, and for example, if I change the A7 on A5, it takes a little bit longer, but I always hide this off the sun. And they are very good conditions. I have no spare sails at all, so I have to maintain what I have.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, and how hard was it pulling in that fish?
I was goosewing A5 and A7 when I set my rod, and I was thinking how to tie the rod to the boat, and in the meantime it just got shocked on the hand, and there is the fish. So I couldn't turn the reel, and I was thinking, if I take down the sails, the fish might get out, or might be eaten by some other bigger fish. So I started kind of fighting with this. It took me about 10 minutes.
Oh, it's not bad.
Tired my hands, but no, it was good. I got a present from a friend in Fiji. He's actually the guy from the Antigua. He gave me this.
Ah, yeah, you need that. Yeah.
I was able to put the fish out, because before I caught one, but I couldn't pick it up.
Yeah, that's cool.
But it was really tasty.
Yeah. So you look very settled on board. Are you? How do I put it? Are you really looking forward to get to Cocos because you want to just stop the boat, or are you just looking forward to get to Cocos because it's such a nice place?
I'm keen to see this place. I'm looking to do some snorkeling, swimming in the sea, and eating fresh fruit, and laying on the sandy beaches, and messing with the other guys from our fleet.
Yeah, and how do you feel about the fact you're past halfway now? You're well and truly on the heading home. Is that sinking in? Like, you must tell us what's in your head about what you're doing. Like, it must feel good in a strange way.
Well, yeah, lots of thinking. I think since I passed the international dateline, I started to think about the way back home. Obviously, it's still maybe now we are in halfway, but lots of thoughts coming to my mind. I miss my kids a lot, a big time. This is sometimes it's a killer if I think too much about that. But I already picture my life when I come back, what I'm going to do with Timon, with Bianca, and it's like I said before, it's in a way back home.
Yeah, that's really good. Okay, so have you do you think very often about the Gullis Current and Cape Town and after Durban? Is that on your mind at all, or are you just staying focused on Cocos?
I slowly collect some information and from other sailors and experienced sailors, and then. But I'm not thinking about them now because now I need to get to the Cocos, and there is few challenges ahead of me. Then in the Cocos, I will be thinking, how to sail through the Indian Ocean to Mauritius, like one step at a time.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so life is good on board. You're getting plenty of sleep, and how's condition down below? It's nice and dry and pretty pleasant, I suppose.
Well, I did all the cleaning, so all the boat is tidy. I'm still using lots of things like books. I write the diary. I sleep a lot. Probably half of the day is asleep, and life is just easy, peaceful, calm, and really, really enjoyable sailing.
Yeah, what's the temperature now? What's that like?
I have 28 degrees Celsius in cabin.
Okay, well that's pretty good.
But I have some ventilation on because the small hatch in here. So I put kind of shield.
Yeah.
And when I set it up like that, it brings all the air and bounce of this and gets in. So it's a little bit of breeze in here.
Yeah. Okay, so you've really had a few weeks of really nice weather, eh? Or a week or so.
Yeah. The first 2 days were quite rough when I left TI, but the sea was messy. The very, very short waves, steep and short, they were bouncing me from side to the side. But once I passed this peninsula with the hole in the wall, I can't remember the name now.
Yeah.
This started coming down.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, good luck going through the big calm. That's up ahead now. So bit of a punt. You're the only one that's been down there. The others have all gone topside. So I hope it works out, eh?
Hopefully.
Yeah.
So
you got plenty of power in your battery, so you can run the motor if you want to.
Yeah, I can. I don't think I'm gonna use the motor because, what for?
Yeah.
On the sea, even the slight sea takes the propeller out of the water, and I try to use the motor in the Galapagos, but it's pointless.
Yeah. You need glass. Yep.
My batteries are full totally because when the sea is calm, I'm putting like extra panels to charge.
Yeah.
And I'm fully loaded.
Okay, so how are you talking to other entrants? Are you just WhatsApp, or are you keeping in touch with who?
Oh yeah, I talked to Jasmine. I haven't talked actually to Adam recently, so I need to send him the message now. Renault, and we have like a WhatsApp chat group, and we post if we see some danger, we warn others with showing the position.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, really cool. It's going really well as far as I'm concerned. Fingers crossed. Touch wood, all that stuff. So a lot of adventure to come in the future. But how cool is it? You guys and girls are doing amazing things. So it's fun to watch. I was quite excited to get back on the tracker after a day and a half off it. It's like, whoa, check this out. So good fun, eh? All right, well that's good. We should just keep it moving because we've got people turning up for the tracker now and get back on track. But I appreciate that, and for all the other entrants watching you talk to me with the phone, they can all do the same. Ring me anytime when we're doing a tracker update. So everyone loves it. All right, so yeah, well I'm going to sign you off. Want to say good day to your family or something, or goodbye?
Yeah, so I like to say a big hello to my kids. Big hello to all my friends and supporters. I miss you all, and I just got some water. My shield is supposed to bring the air. It just brought some water.
Okay. All right.
Not much.
Yep. Well, we'll leave you with it, eh?
Miss you all, and looking to come back and do the crazy thing with all of you. Also, I like to say big thumbs up to all my sailing fellas all around me, on the back, on the front. So hopefully soon we're gonna meet up in the Cocos Killing and have a nice party like we had in the TI.
Yeah, going to be fun. Wish I was there. Anyway, okay, that's fantastic. Thanks, Jacob. Thanks for calling in, eh?
Okay, cheers.
Okay, see you later. Yep, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Well, normally I'd say, isn't that amazing technology? But it's just WhatsApp. I can actually do it with a live connection sort of thing. I send them a link and they come in and it'll be in the box next door. But that was all very impromptu anyway. So, and hopefully we'll get some more entrants up there. We've got a few people there now, so that was good timing. You're going to get the tracker live. So we'll go straight over to the tracker now. So you're on the tracker and there's me. I'm on the tracker. This was the story with the currents first up. I thought, oh, that's interesting. Gary's just down in the gap down here. He's been going pretty slow. And I'll just see if we've just rolled over the positions on people so I don't have to... what are we? 8 o'clock, so it should be 4 o'clock. No one's rolled over. So that's still the same. So I'm going to have to reboot everything here. So let me just reboot and you'll see us go through the usual deal. This will prove whether the speed of the internet is up to speed. Come on. Yep, here it comes. Just got another message from Jacob. What's he saying now? I'm not watching that. I'll concentrate on this. Right, so we're on, and we should have the new times. So we picked this time because it's basically 800 UTC. So the positions will roll over just as we get there. So that should be 400. Yep, that's right. Okay, so we're back on here. I'll stick the weather straight in. There we go. I'll stick the grids in. Come on, back here. Stick the grids in. I've got to make sure I don't get too far ahead of it. Come back so we can see what's happening. As I was saying, Gary's he might be going across here because there's huge currents in between Melville Island there, and he looks like he's going across. I'm not sure what he's up to there at the moment. It's going in now with the wind and stuff, but anyway, we'll sort it out and watch what's going on there. That's kind of interesting. Mark's well and truly having parties in Darwin. Ayrton's following up the rear here, and he is doing... Come on, save image. I don't want that. What's going on there? Okay, Ayrton's doing 2.9 knots. You can see there's not much wind and 60 nautical miles in the last 24 hours. So slow going at the back end. This is the real-time wind. Josh is crossing over Jasmine, doing 1.6 knots and 49 mile day. Jasmine's right up there doing 2.3 knots and 50 mile days. So it's the luck of the draw there at the moment. You can see with this wind, it's coming from the southwest. And that's 4 to the beam for Jasmine. And I'm not sure what's going on with Josh here. Not sure. It's very localized. So one thing's for certain, not going. That's not Jasmine. What am I talking about? That's Eric. Eric's right there. He caught another big fish. I'll show you the picture at the end if I remember. I say these things and then I forget by the time we get to the comments at the back. But Eric got his big fish. Jasmine's right up here doing really well, 3.3 and 71 mile day. So she's pulling away. This could develop into a tail enders and a mid fleet and then the lead fleet. But Jazz is right up there, sailing very well. Winds 4 to the beam, putting out great posts thanks to Mum and all the rest of it. Christian just let rip with a bit of a disaster. He's maintaining the opinion that his batteries are no longer charging. One battery is at 70% and the other battery was about 30%. So he may have a problem. He's trying to work out what's going on, but he seems to be convinced that the batteries are not charging now. And if that's the case, a bit of a problem because hard to get new batteries in Cocos and he's got a long way to go to Mauritius. So anyway, 102 mile day. And doing 5 knots. There's more wind up the top than down the bottom right now, and it's been that way for a while. There's Jacob doing really well. He's, he's right up there. If anything, there's a dividing line there, and this is Peeler's in the lead group, but Adam was coming right up there, and I'm not sure where he's going at the moment because he's sort of sailing a bit away from the course, but he's stuck with the breeze. This is showing the angle coming in at what is it? It's okay, you got southwest and you got south-southwest, so it's probably a southwesterly wind. And if it was, Adam should be coming up a little bit by now, but I've got a feeling it's probably coming a little bit more from the southwest. And he's hard on Port Tack. at the moment, and that makes it very difficult because he's on a loser. If he tacks, he's got to be coming back this way, sort of thing, you know. So he's more or less trapped in that position because I'm sure if he had the choice, he wouldn't want to be going where he's going right now, and he's moving at 4 knots, and he's done a 103-mile day, but it's very unusual unless he's trying to get some current. We'll have a look at that in a minute as well. But it's a bit of a strange course. Peeler doing okay, 4.7 knots, 93-mile day. That's pretty good. So it's sort of suggesting that she's out of the big wind shadow over here behind Australia and already hit this breeze coming in from the west. That's running a southerly at the moment too, and also that might be helping because it's a lot of south in it. So it means she can keep the wind forward of the beam and keep the apparent wind higher and sail close reaching. It makes her for wet sailing, but at least she's making good progress. And wet sailing is exactly what Kerry was talking about. He's up here. They're trying to hold away from the coast now. This is this is what you call close to Kupang. It's quite close to Timor. And then from there, once they clear this and get around the corner, they should be clear of Indonesia. But anyway, seems to be going very well. Dan currently doing 5.6, 100-mile day, the Magic 100. That's good. Kerry 4.4 doing the Magic 100, so they're holding station. And Renault doing 107 nautical miles, doing 4.9. Probably he's the only one that may not have been fishing, and he's the one that's going the fastest once again. Had a quick chat with Renault this morning, or a few hours ago, and it was quite fun because we're talking about random stuff, and I mentioned about the fishing, what's going on, and he was probably laughing, and so no, he's concentrating on sailing, and he hadn't had a lot of sleep. But he reckons he's got another 4 hours and then he's clear and he can go wing and wing. He's expecting the wind to shift and swing right round. We'll have a look at that in a minute, but this graphic is not showing that at the moment. It's starting to swing, but it's ever so slow. So he's waiting for that, and then he can open the sails and he can carry on regardless. But he's been holding high as well, or the wind forward of the beam to drive the boat. And that's what Kerry's been doing as well. So Renault, the clear leader once again. And let's just shrink this down a bit. And we'll look at the wind first, and then we'll look at the current. So the projected wind. The wind shadow is not so bad here at the moment. There is still a breeze, so they're still sailing. Because if you remember back a few days, this was completely calm here. No wind at all. So, you know, to take a couple of days to get across there, that's pretty good. They've done pretty well. So their average speeds will still be quite positive, you might say. So anyway, there it is. I'm going to hit that, get my auxiliary keyboard over here, and start cranking that off. Here we go. So you can see the wind is also swinging around. So that right over the side here, it's literally coming from the west-southwest, okay? But over here, it's coming from the south, okay? So there's a gradient all spinning out from the system, the trade winds coming up here from the Indian, and then just fanning out, you might say. That's the easiest way to describe it in an unprofessional way. So now we'll just hit this every 3 hours. It's keeping up with the change. Yep, so the lead pack are basically into it pretty quickly. Adam should be able to tack soon by the look of this. Maybe that's what he's thinking. You can see the breeze just here coming off the land. This could be a land breeze. We'll see in the next 3 hours when I hit it. But it's coming from the west. As soon as it comes from the west, he'll tack and go down on starboard tack. But then as he gets closer, it's a bit of a trick because you can see here, it's still coming from the southwest. So very much a local thing there. But he's going to be interacting with local fishermen that come offshore a bit there and so on. So that'll keep him awake at nights maybe for a few different reasons. JAKUB has got wind on the nose, so he'll probably have to tack away as well, unless he goes right up there again, but he's pretty conservative. So if it comes from the west, I think you'll see JAKUB go down but then it just depends what happens here. So some challenges ahead for the mid-fleet. I think Peeler will be okay, but Adam and JAKUB and then even the others are going to, the breeze is coming, but it's not coming from the most advantageous direction. There's another couple of days. Oh, it swings pretty quick. Oh, jeepers. It's still going to be hard on for Adam. It'll be back on port tack again then. So that's going to be challenging. I think JAKUB's all right. He'll roll around with that. So still pretty light all the way across. The tail enders are going to be struggling a bit. That's the 27th and into the 28th. So there goes 2 days. But at least there's some breeze there. It's not a complete glass out. And that has some relevance too. I'll just push it through a bit further, see what's going on for the lead pack. They're going to get it from the south. So they're just going to have nice sailing from the south. Sea States will be down to nothing. But that wind shadow it might carry on with the lead fleet. So the leaders might get away. We're into the 29th there. That's 3 days on. So, it's a bit of a mixed bag. That's the only way I can describe it there. But no dramas, put it that way. Just very pleasant sailing. If we look at the big picture, let's just cruise out because we're a couple of weeks. Well, my estimate is they're going to get there on the Sunday, not this coming Sunday, but the next Sunday. They might actually be there by then. But there's trades are well established there. So I'll just quickly can't bounce that through. Come on, hit that. Just see what it looks like for the next week or something. Still pretty light, but not too bad. There's the 31st. First, that's 5 days. Yeah, fast sailing. So not too bad. So trade winds are definitely the order of the day. And just to give you an idea, there's Cocos there. So they're on the same big map. How far to go from the lead pack? Should be about 1,100 miles or something. 12. No, 15. Sorry, got it all wrong. Okay. So 1,500 from the lead pack, or 1,550. So that's about 13, 14 days. Yeah, 13, 14 days from now, something there. And the others over a period of about 4 days after that. So there's your ETAs. Now get rid of that. Get rid of this. Let's have a look at the currents. I'll push that down there. I'll push that there. And come on. And then we'll pick this up here. There's still some streams going through which will keep their average speed up. Interestingly, the lead pack is a little bit above it. Adam's obviously going around with the currents. He's trying to hook into that, even though they're there by now. So, hang on, that's wrong because that's not the current time. Okay, there it is now. So not as strong as it looked. So Adam got a bit of a boost. That might have pushed him a bit further north. Peeler's not getting any good current. JAKUB sitting in zero current, and the others, it's a mixed bag. So I'll just squeak that forward a day. There's a day. No, the middle opens up, and the top's got a stream going around for sure. Peeler will be in that soon, and the others, the lead pack will be there, and the others, the mid group will be out in the distance there. Okay, so that's pretty much it. I'll come back here and say g'day. Okay, so I'm there. Here's me. Okay, one of the subjects I just wanted to, how many days till they stay in Cocos? So we're just yet to decide on that. There's a question there straight away. I'll just answer it before I get rid of it. How many days will they stay in Cocos? The requirement at the moment is 10 days, I think it is. Yeah, 10 days. And that's where it stands. But in the last week, as they're approaching Cocos, we may extend that because we don't, we've got to use up time. I've mentioned this before. So until we see what their average speed is for the fleet in that last week, or even the last sort of 3 or 4 days for the leaders, then we'll decide what it's going to be. But it'll be no less than 10 days because that's in the sailing instructions. Then it could be 11 or 12 or whatever. We don't know yet. We'll just see. And the way we do that, I do all of the timing based on 100 days for the tail enders and 120-mile days. So 100-mile day or 120-mile day. But as you know, sometimes like Renault's doing 135-mile average distance over like 6,000 miles or something, 5,000 miles. So we're mindful of all that as well. And we want to keep a degree of flexibility there. So that's pretty cool. So a couple of things to talk about. One thing I didn't mention, I should have showed you. Popeye has arrived in Vuda about 6 or 7 hours ago at the marina. He had a few dramas. I don't know. I'm not sure what's been up online. I don't know how many posts we've got. He hasn't put any posts up, but he had a few little exciting moments. And it's probably the best basically I can explain it like this. His mainsail is torn along the leech. Up the top, down the leech line, and there's a little tear at the luff, and apparently it's from the sun degradation, solar degradation, not good for the material. So that's caused some problems. He had a little tear on his jib, and he was coming along the bottom of the closing stage on the bottom of Vitilevu, which is the main island, and around on the north western side is Vuda Marina, and he ran out of breeze. Okay, and he was close to the reef. There's a following reef there, and then the breeze turned into a southerly, which put him on a lee shore, but there wasn't enough breeze to sail. And so in the end, he ended up having to anchor in like 30 to 40 meters to stop himself drifting onto the reef. And then the local came along and tried to hook him up with a tow and take him into a little harbour. There was an indent, like a pass through the reef in a little harbour. He had a couple of big outboards on the back. One of them failed, so I had to leave him and go back. And then his son John, was trying to organise a tow out of Vuda, which was a fair way. So it's about 15, probably 5, must have been good 20 miles, 20, 25 miles maybe, out from Vuda, but couldn't organise that. And in the end, we saw that as we got off the plane. And he's okay. He wasn't declaring any issues, but he didn't think he could sail further because there was a strong northerly coming, and he decided that he'd sit it out and hope that the anchor would hold or whatever it is. And then somehow it evolved into the police boat coming out. And in Mike's terms, the police boat came out and saved me and towed him back during the night back in, and he anchored off the front of Vuda at 4 o'clock. Our time, which must have been, I forget whether it's our time or their time. Anyway, in the early hours of the morning, he was able to anchor off Vuda Marina, and then this morning he got taken into customs. So he's now cleared, and he's finally arrived, and he said he's ready to hibernate now. You can read into that whatever you want. So I did explain to him there's a little trick you can do there. Even if you lose the top of your mainsail, you can reef the mainsail from the top down, and what you do, if that happens, like if you blow out the luff of the main or whatever, but all the bottom bit's okay, imagine this: you've got your 3 reef points. You've got 1, 2, 3 reef points. Okay, if you drop your main completely, take out from the luff track the top end of your main from just above the 3rd reef point, take your cars out of the track, and then roll it all up. Okay, roll it into a nice sausage. Tie it on with your reef point so it's across the top, and then you run a strop from the kringle of the top, the luff kringle of the 3rd reef point. You run a strop up the mast that should finish about to the masthead where it would have normally be. And imagine then you put your halyard on that and you take it up. Now the reason you have the strop there is because you then make another strop that goes from that head of the strops down to the leech kringle on the 3rd reef, right? So you've got another line, right, to that. Once you've made those 2 strops, and you've got to juggle it a bit to get the angle right, you connect the halyard to the top of both strops and then hoist the sail. And so what you've got then effectively is no sail, but you've got the strops there, and the leech strop is enough to hold the leech of the sail out. So when you do full hoist, you've got your 1st reef, 2nd reef, 3rd reef, and you can sail with that. It looks a bit weird, but it'll get you home. So you're now using the bottom of the sail, and if the wind picks up, you just put 1 reef in, and then you've got the 2nd reef and the 3rd reef. It's not quite like a Chinese junk rig, and if Graham's watching this, he'll be saying, "Oh," but the rolled up sail in itself helps to hold the sail out like that, and the batten that's underneath that will hold it out as well, and blah blah blah. And so that gets you home, and then the issue with the jib, if it's got a little tear in it, usually that'll hold, but if it doesn't, just get it down and try and stitch it up or tape it up, and you're back to square one and you're fully sailing. So you get in. And of course the other thing is, we'll talk about engines, now changing the game a bit to the rules of the race, because there are a couple of people, or there's some people that will not motor because it's, in their opinion, they want to sail around the world. Well, that's all fine, but the deal is, when you're sailing and you want to try and win the race, you look at what the notice of race says, and you optimise every opportunity within the rules. And we've made it very clear that we allow motoring at any time, and because an electric outboard won't keep going forever, you're going to get a flat battery and then it's all over. So at best, sort of like how far they're going to go, it's hard to tell because there's all these variables. But if it's absolute glass out and you're just sitting there, and I've had that on tracker, just glass out, so easy to motor. And if you just twiddle along, if it's real glassy, so the prop's not coming out of the water, you twiddle along at about 2.5 knots, and you can go for many hours, right? And that's going to put you into a position where you might get to breeze before you would normally have done. If you could motor for 3-4 hours or something, and that's 10 miles, 12 miles, And when you've got the boats in the front that are only like 10 or 12 miles apart, and one's going to get to the breeze further, then you can motor. But it's a choice for the skippers, and what that does, it starts to create an interesting story for the outboards, the electric outboards. Some can charge from hydro generation, like the e-propulsion, Evos, whatever, the Evo Spirit or whatever, and others are using solar panels to charge up your batteries, and you can have a spare battery on board the boat. So you could have pre-charged your spare outboard battery, because you can have two, and that gives you maybe 20 miles range, and that may be enough to get you into a new wing pattern. So whilst I completely understand the issue of those that want to sail around the world without using their motors, the rules make it very clear you can. And there's a lot of feedback going back. We've had a lot of trouble with the motors. Like Ayrton had a nightmare with his batteries. They were original batteries that I had on Treco back from 21. In fact, I think we got the outboard in 2021. And so they're 4 years old. They've had a bit of charging and stationary and things like that, and the batteries are starting to die. And he couldn't get new ones flown in because you can't flow in lithium. It had to be by sea. He missed the opportunity to get the new batteries. So John gave him his batteries out of 100. John here. And John's still trying to get the batteries, Ayrton's batteries that were in Fiji when he was still coming. But anyway, and other ones are, some of them had trouble with cables. Leave them on the back of the boat. It's all corroded. Another brand has, got rained on, and it completely stuffed up the top of the panels. And to replace that is a nightmare. So you just basically throw the outboard away. It's just like there's all these interesting stories, and all that feedback goes back to the manufacturers, and no one else anywhere is giving the electric outboards the hammering that our guys and girls are doing. They're really pushing them to the limit. But the key element there, if you're the sailor on the boat, you always assume the outboard will never work, and you must sail the boat assuming that you don't have a motor. When I sailed Buttercup around the world in the BOC in 1990, I had no motor. I had a sail drive leg, but I took the leg out and blanked it off, so there was no resistance underwater. And when you excuse me, I'm going to call you back. When you're doing that, you temper the way you do it, and you be super cautious. So you don't want to get caught against a lee shore. But anyway, all part of the fun. I've had a few entries say, "Oh, it'd be so good to have a petrol outboard." There will never be a petrol outboard at an official Class 580 event. We just don't want to know about it. Electric outboards will get bigger or get better. On that point, we say 1,000 watt minimum now, so you can have any size you want after that. And they're evolving. They're going to get better, but the thing is, it's a lot safer to have it. No petrol on board, so all kind of cool. What else was I going to tell you about? There was something else. I'm going to show you the picture of Eric's fish. He got one too. Everyone was getting fish. Hang on, where is it? Jeepers, come on. I get so many bloody emails. Sorry about all this, everybody. I've got to find. Here it is. Right, here's. You might have seen it because I saw he posted it. But anyway, if you hadn't seen it, there's Eric's fish. Everyone's been catching big fish, and it was all kind of fun. So he's cool. His report was update Sun Bear Day 7. End Australia. Australia very frustrating conditions out here. This is yesterday. At the moment, slow going in the wrong direction. Only 58 nautical miles for 24 hours. I'm struggling at the moment. Cheers, Eric. And I think we got another one from. We got that chat from Renault wanting to know about a couple of things, and then he's been hard at work. He hasn't been fishing though, so that's cool. Mike, I got his report, but I've pretty much given it to you word for word. He's happy to be in, and let's see where they go from there. I think that's us. Yes. Okay, it's been taking a while. 45 minutes, cheapest. Okay, I'll just see what question we've got here. Renault's there. Fantastic book. Yeah, it sure is. And in fact, I always had to put it admired where it's inspired, or you knew the story of Matessia and all of those aspects of everything that happened after he lost the boat, and even going beyond. But to get his other books, because a lot of people have read the longer, the trip of his Gold Globe race, But there's two more books, really good ones, and if you get those two and read them, it not only gives you more of an understanding of who Tessier was and his concepts and philosophy, especially of his younger years when he kept wrecking all his boats, and what he did to get out of that. It just you excuse me a minute. Just gonna hang on. This might be a satellite phone. Jane 95566. 95566. Is that a satellite phone? No, rubbish. Rubbish. Okay. 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 Sorry about all that. I got a few things on standby. We've got to be ready for anything. Yeah, classic character, and of course we support them in different ways as well. And if you want to buy a piece of Joshua, right? Quite honestly, if you want to buy a piece of Joshua, I don't think I've got one here. I can organise it for you because Joshua just went through a big refit last year. It was the 60th anniversary of the building of the boat, and we support the Maritime Museum, who looks after Joshua, through the Golden Globe race and what we do. And we said, give me a piece of plate. So they gave us a piece of plate. We chopped it up into pieces, right, little pieces of Joshua, and made the stands and everything. And we've given them 100, all with the authority of the people who own the boat and all this, because this was a plate that was cut out to replace the dent in the hull from when the boat went up on the beach in Mexico, when Mtoring walked away from the boat and said, you can have it. He gave it to a guy for $20 or something. And so we got that piece of plate, and 60 pieces have been kept for the next GGR entrants that finish the races. They get a piece of Joshua, and 100 of pieces are being sold to raise money for the maintenance of Joshua. Okay, so if you want to follow that, keep an eye out on GGR, and it's through the La Rochelle Maritime Museum. You can do that and buy a piece of Joshua's hull, the whole thing, which is cool. Anyway, I digress. Ever inspiring book, sure was. It's good to see. Yeah, likewise. Thanks for the new update. Christmas good catch up with Christine. Yeah, she's been in Darwin. Very interesting view of life by Jacob. I do try, but wish more of us are like that. Yes, for sure. That's being environmentally responsible. It's all the little things you can do. You can't do everything. It's impossible to go in a supermarket without buying plastic. It's pretty crazy. Yep, g'day Adrian Lenka. Good to see the sailors all catching tuna fish within hours of each other. Yum treat. Yep, you're right. The waters up there are pretty live, and I think Australia generally does a good job of managing the fishery. So that's all good to see. Thanks. Great to catch. G'day Scott. Catch alive and see the fleet going so well. Typical winter northwesterly down here on Kangaroo Island. Ooh, nice place. Looking fresh and relaxed, Jacob. Sure dears. Yep, me too. Thanks. I still got the shirt. Brought it with me. Great to hear you live, Jacob. Jacob looking well. Yeah, he is. Love the live conversations. Me too. We'll have to. I don't want to force them into it, but the entrants will try and twist their arm. How many days will they stay in Cocos? We've gone through that. John, new normal time while in China. Yeah, 4 p.m. in China. That's it. Yeah, and the same when we get back to France or in the UK. So that's the way it's going to be. And in fact, probably for the long term, because after France and the UK, the next trip is down to Cape Town at the end of November, and that's not far away. So it'll probably be holding this time for a while. Okay, there might be occasions we can't do it, as you know. We only guarantee Fridays, but that's it. Oh, Graham's here. G'day, Graham. Not often I get you live, just clocked in, so we'll have to watch the full video shortly. Yeah, good on you, Graham. Well, this is the new real time. We're getting closer to the longitude of Australia. So, but anyway. Good to see you, Graham. Thanks for everything. And today's Tuesday, so your report might be coming out. I'm looking forward to it. Okay, that's it. It's a long one, so thanks for that. And if all goes well, and it should do, we'll see you same time tomorrow, and I'll see if I can get some other entrants to call us in. We haven't spoken to a few for a while, and I'm short of screens because I didn't know how good the... Oh, that's not what we meant to do. Okay, this is our out picture. That'll do. We'll see you later, everybody. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.